Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Byron Katie. Do yourself a favor, do a Google search for her name, and read through some of her work. She really is awesome. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Sunbury. Very, very good to see you here. Danae, good morning. Tracy, a very good morning to you. Hello. Right, let's get into it. The power of now. Being present has such a spiritual connotation that its pure practical application is often missed. It's a shame because being present is simply the most effective way to apply your effort. Dealing with what this moment makes available to you right now is the only place where you have any power at all. Linda, very good morning. Hello, awesome having you right here with us. Byron Katie says, I am a lover of what is. I love those words. Isn't that just so simple? I am a lover of what is, she says. Not because I'm a spiritual person, but because it hurts when I argue with reality. Maggie, good morning. Grania, good morning. Awesome having you here. I love these words so much. They feel really good in my mouth. She says, I'm a lover of what is, not because I'm a spiritual person, but because it hurts when I argue with reality. We can know that reality is good just as it is, because when we argue with it, we experience tension and frustration. We don't feel natural or balanced. When we stop opposing reality, action becomes simple, fluid, kind, and fearless. I love the simplicity of how she explains that. She says, the work reveals that what I think should not have happened should, in fact, have happened. Michelle, a very good morning. It's so good to see you. Annalie, good morning. Dylan, good morning. Awesome having you all right here. Charlene, good morning. I mean, these could be hard words, difficult words to hear and to accept. She says, the work reveals that what you think should not have happened should, in fact, have happened. It should have happened because it did. And no thinking in the world can change that. This doesn't mean that you condone it or approve of it. It just means that you can see things without resistance and without the confusion of your inner struggle. No one wants their children to get sick. No one wants to be in a car accident. But when these things happen, and sometimes they do, how can it be helpful to mentally argue with them? We know better than to do that, yet we do it because we don't know how to stop. Really being present and surrendering to reality just as it is brings clarity. While I am fighting with reality, I'm trying to take action from data that just doesn't exist. But when I accept this moment just as it is, then I become available to see all the data that presents itself, taking action from clarity. We struggle to be present because our inner narrative, the way in which we speak to ourselves, was recorded from the events that we lived through in the past. This inner voice from the past is always repeating the same old anxieties, and when it looks into the future, it predicts that our worst fears will come true. In the moments when you are able to step out of the old recording and step into wisdom, in those moments you have no problem dealing with reality just as it is. Your soul is the most present thing that you will ever encounter. While your soul has been collecting wisdom across millennia, It is never trying to be anywhere but right here, right now, dealing with reality exactly as it is. When you learn to listen to the whisper of your soul, all resistance to reality melts away and confusion evaporates. When you stop opposing reality, action becomes simple. Action becomes fluid, kind, and fearless. Tanya, very good morning. Awesome seeing you. And Linda, good morning. Great to have you here live with us. Our meditation today is called The Power of Now, the power of being present. And if you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together. Let's start with the first few big breaths. Take a deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. And out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Big breath in. And out. One more. Big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. While you continue your own full body breathing, rising with every inhale and falling with every exhale, we'll have a conversation about being present. Being present is often portrayed as something like floating on a placid lake, or sitting and meditating on the top of a mountain, or spending time in a beautiful garden. Now, if you were to find yourself on top of a mountain, or floating in a lake, or in a beautiful garden, if you were to find yourself in one of those places, then trying to be anywhere else would certainly rob you of the presence you could experience right there. But if you're sitting in the middle of traffic, or dealing with crying children, or in the middle of an argument with a partner, if in these moments you're trying to be somewhere else, on the mountaintop, in the lake, in the garden, then you're not being present. While those images of presence are beautiful, and sometimes we are fortunate enough to experience them, presence is not about trying to be anywhere else, no matter how beautiful that picture is. Presence is about being right here, right now, and not turning away from what I'm facing. Not trying to run from what is in front of me right now. Not trying to numb or escape in any way, but being right here, right now, without resistance. Because right here and right now is the only place where my energy can have any effect. And if I try to spend my energy anywhere else, it'll always be wasted effort. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. See if you can tilt your head towards the left while you tilt your hips towards the right, curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. And then change. Tilt your head to the right, tilt your hips to the left. And see if you can change that up a few more times. One more big breath in, and as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to do that right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it just for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring the word presence or being present closer again. What is your relationship with being present? Take your next big breath. I want you to try out this idea. The thought of what this moment should have been. The thought of what this moment should have been. Very often, when we encounter reality, we have an inner narrative that has a different thought about this reality. A little voice inside that says, but this moment shouldn't be like this. It should be different somehow. Perhaps we've created an expectation for ourselves on what this moment should have been. But very often, there's a part of us that is completely in resistance to what the moment is. The thought of what this moment should have been. What is your relationship with that thought? How often do you experience it? Can you recall the last time you experienced the thought of what this moment should have been? Take your next big breath. What happens when you try and hold on? When you become attached to the thought of what this moment should have been? Byron Katie tells us that when she argues with reality, it tends to hurt. Have you experienced that? When reality shows up and you keep trying to hold on to the thought of what this moment should have been? What has been your last experience of being attached to the thought of what this moment should have been? Take your next big breath. We'll use a few very simple examples. You're on your way to a meeting. You're kind of running late, but you shouldn't be just in time. And then you have a flat tire on the way. Reality shows up different than what you expected. What happens if you hold on to the thought of what this moment should have been? If you're standing next to your vehicle with a flat tire and your mind does not want to let go of, but I should be at the meeting. What is your experience when you're unable to let go of the thought of what the moment should have been? Take your next big breath. Your soul, on the other hand, is always right here, right now, never trying to be anywhere else. Wisdom asks, what does this moment make available? Where are you at when you ask the question that way? Standing next to a car with a flat tire. And your question becomes, what does this moment make available to me? What does this moment ask me to take action on? How much different do you feel? And how much different does your action become when you make yourself available to what this moment is? Take your next big breath. Another simple example. You've been planning a birthday party. The invitations have gone out a month or two ago. It is the morning of the party, and it happens outside because that's where the most space is. But apparently, the weather didn't get the invitation, because now it's raining. And the party outside seems to be a mess. What happens if you keep holding on to the thought of what this moment should have been? A sunny day with a party outside. How much does it hurt when you argue with reality? Take your next big breath. How quickly can you let go of the thought of what this moment should have been? If you listen to the whisper of wisdom, you will hear, what does this moment make available? What does this moment ask me to take action on? What happens when you become open to what this moment brings? Take your next big breath. And one more very simple example. You've arranged coffee or tea with a friend you haven't seen for ages. You've been looking forward to this. And in your mind you've seen how you'll reminisce about the past and fill each other in on where you are now. But when the moment arrives, your friend seems to not quite be there. It seems as though she's dealing with something that prevents her from being a part of this excited conversation you envisioned. What happens if you keep holding on to your thought of what this moment should have been? Keep trying to manufacture the conversation that you saw happening in your imagination. How does that tea or coffee date go? Take your next big breath. How quickly can you let go of the thought of what this moment should have been? How clearly can you hear the whisper from your soul What does this moment make available? What opportunity does this moment bring? What happens when you really become available to the moment and become a space holder for a friend that might just need to be seen? Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Let's do one more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you one more time Byron Katie's message for us this morning. She says, I am a lover of what is, not because I'm a spiritual person, but because it hurts when I argue with reality. We can know that reality is good just as it is because when we argue with it, we experience tension and frustration. We don't feel natural or balanced. When we stop opposing reality, action becomes simple, fluid, kind, and fearless. She says the work reveals that what you think should not have happened should in fact have happened. It should have happened because it did, and no amount of thinking in the world can change it. This doesn't mean that you condone it or approve of it. It just means that you can see things without resistance and without the confusion of your inner struggle. No one wants their children to get sick. No one wants to be in a car accident. But these things happen. How can it be helpful to mentally argue with them? We know better than to do that, yet we do it because we don't know how to stop. We struggle to be present because our inner narrative, the way in which we speak to ourselves, was recorded from the events that we lived through in the past. This inner voice from the past always is repeating the same old anxieties. And when it looks into the future, it most often predicts that our worst fears will come true. In the moments when you are able to step out of the old recording and step into wisdom, you have no problem dealing with reality just as it is. Your soul is the most present thing that you will ever encounter. While your soul has been collecting wisdom across millennia, it is never trying to be anywhere but right here, right now, dealing with reality exactly as it is. When you learn to listen to the whisper of your soul, all resistance to reality melts away and confusion evaporates. When you stop opposing reality, action becomes simple, fluid, kind, and fearless. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say your own. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for being right here, present with us for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the beautiful images of meditating on a mountaintop, floating in a lake, sitting in a beautiful garden, being present. Take a deep breath in. But thank you too for the very realistic images that show I can be present in the middle of traffic with a screaming child, in the middle of an argument with a loved one. I can find myself being present in all those situations too. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for getting better at recognizing when I am trying to hold on to the thought of what this moment should have been. And thank you for the kindness and the patience I offer myself in those moments when I realize I'm doing it again. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being present with us for a moment. And do be kind to yourself. Do be patient with yourself when you realize that you're doing it again. Judy, it's good to see you all the way from Mexico this time. Awesome having you here with us.